Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're listening to us from. Welcome to Footprints, a podcast that tells the stories and gleans the wisdom of our elders. Today, I'm absolutely honored to be interviewing one of Uganda's distinguished elders. She is called Ambassador Bernadette Olowo-Frez. You are absolutely welcome to Footprints, and I'm honored to be here in your beautiful home in the forest. I don't know if I'll leave. I might camp here after this. Do tell us a bit about yourself. Who is Ambassador Bernadette? What were you like as a little girl?
Thank you, Jacqueline. I also feel honored that you've come to hear my story and share it with many people, because I feel that I really have a story to tell.
Absolutely.
I'm about 78 years now, but as a little girl in a rural village in Bukedi district, I could say I was a little tomboy, because I grew up between several brothers and cousins. I always like to tell people how I started school, that I paid my own school fees in P1, and it's from there that my father realized that I was serious about school and took on.
Yes.
How did I pay my fees in P1? I was babysitting or carrying my sister on my back and following my brothers around for whatever they were doing, because I felt part of them. So that morning, they were trying to get ants from the ground. Those particular ants are called mbala. With mbala, when you want mbala, you go and make music at a small ant hill where you know they reside. There's a way of knowing that they are here. So the boys went, put everything together and started playing music. And me, I was, of course, a spectator. I was looking at what they were doing with my sister on my back. I standing on a burnt grass stump. And I was fidgety. My sister was a bit heavy. I was fidgety. I would shift from one leg to another to bear the weight. But as I did that, I felt something different on my feet. It was not the sharp stump of burnt grass. It was something smooth. So I looked down and I saw silver shillings. So I knew it was money. So I bent down slowly, scooped a handful, and shouted, "My brothers, I found money!" Then ran to my mother, put it in her lap, and said, "Pay my school fees."
No.
You know this, I didn't at that time even bother to find out whose money it was.
Yeah.
For me, I found money and I have a purpose for it. So I started, my mother paid my school fees, and I started school. I did very well in P1. In fact, it made a bit of a ripple in the community, because I did very well. Yes, most boys didn't do as well, especially those boys where our families were close to each other. So everybody was saying, "Wow, this girl has defeated even many boys." So my father, when he came back, was very excited. So in P2, he took me to Nakongera boarding school. And I was there for 1 year. But I don't know why I didn't acclimatize. I was sickly. So he took me out in P2. But I then went and joined my brothers in Merikit Primary School for 1 year. It was tough because that was 5 miles trek to and fro. But in P4, he then took me to Namengo Girls Boarding School, where I stayed from P4 up to secondary school. I think that's secondary school 2, which would be like P8. So, and I liked school.
Yes.
I really liked school, and it was one of the best times.
What in particular did you like about school?
I was a very outgoing person. I liked drama. I was in drama and games. In drama, I led in everything. If there were 10 items during Mother Superior's birthday, here I was in at least 7.
Dancing,
Acting. We even acted reciting poems. So I liked that. And then, of course, I liked netball. Athletics. I did everything. Yes, that I liked very much.
So after your P8, then where did you go?
Then at P8 or at secondary school, junior 2, I I were supposed to make choices. And I asked my father, I don't know why, but I asked him, where should I go to senior? And he said, Trinity College, Napingo. I had absolutely no idea where that was, but apparently he knew.
Yes.
Now, my friends, all my colleagues, whom I was at in the secondary too, all who passed went to Domakonga. And I didn't even have a conversation with them, find out where they were going. So I simply asked my father, he said so, and that was the end of the story. So in S1, in the 60, was it 63, 64, 65, 66? Yeah, 63. I found myself alone in Trinity College in Abimbo in S1 from my former school. Yes. It was a lonely time, but I sort of adjusted when I joined the girl guiding, for example, where you had the motto, a girl sings and smiles under all into difficulties. So when I became moody, I said, oh, you are a girl guide, you should smile and sing. I didn't know how to sing. I mean, I didn't sing very much, but I whistled. When I couldn't sing, I whistled. It is something which is not very encouraged in my culture.
Mine too. And I liked whistling. I
whistled because I had learned the trick from my brothers. And especially when my elder brother annoyed me, I whistled very loudly. Because they said when a girl whistles, your brothers would die. So I think I was wishing if they, yes. But in S1, I also got a very kind teacher, my mathematics teacher, Mrs. Nakatude, Margaret Mary Nakatude, who eventually became the headmistress, the first African headmistress in Trinity College in Abingo. She gave a girl, Rosemary Nakachwa, who was sitting with whom we shared a desk, asked her to look after me, to show me around. Yes, as it were. And we bonded quite well. Every Saturdays I liked clearing our desks and putting them in orders for Monday. I would do mine and do Rosemary's. And Rosemary was a bit carefree person. By Tuesday, her desk was like, yes, but she's a very nice person, a very kind girl. Yeah, and we bonded well. I remember we shared even a room in S5. Yeah, when we went back to Sefo for high school.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
And then through school, you are a diplomat. Like, how does one make that choice? How did you even... yes. What was that part like?
I think I used to like the life of the life outside, because my father was working in the district commissioner's office as when he came back from Second World War. They were employed. Those who had gone to school were employed in different places in civil service. So he employed as an interpreter for the district commissioner in Tororo district, and he also was, I think, assistant market master. So he, as a market master, he would get certain privileges, like, I think, is it 2 kilos per cow slaughtered? So I grew up eating meat all the time. He would bring meat on Wednesday, on Saturday, the 2 kilos that he would get. Yes. But also he used to bring magazines home. Then, like, the district commissioner's wife, I think, would ask if he had children and all that and faces. And so he would bring back some magazines. So I would look through magazines and I feel, oh, this is good. If one can travel, one can become this. No. So that sort of opened my eyes a bit to outside world.
Yes.
Although I didn't think that I would be a diplomat.
Yeah.
But I felt like it would be nice to travel. It would be nice to travel outside. So when I finished secondary, I went to university. I purposely chose subjects which were not teaching, because at high school I did geography, English, I think agriculture, and economics or something like that. But then at university, if you took a teaching subject, you had to do a diploma in education, and
I didn't want to do it.
Yes, there was no way I was going to be a teacher, because I was so naughty as a schoolgirl that I felt if I found a child who is as naughty as me, I might I might do something wrong. Yes. So anyway, I didn't want to teach. Although in all the short vacation of S4 and S6, I taught. And for primary 7, for example, after S4, for the first time, my kids we got 16 first grades.
Wow.
In Medicate. Yes, primary school. I was
So you were an S4 teaching P7.
P7 and teaching English and maths. So I could be a good teacher. After S6, I taught in senior secondary school. I taught S2s. And I taught people like Council Fred Ochengobo. And there was and the priest, Father, it is his name now, Father Kamisa. The other day I met him and he reminded me. And then brought him, yes, wow. And that my English was very poor. But even then I didn't want to teach. So I then did economics and agriculture economics. When I finished university, what did I do? I had, when I was at campus, by the way, I was a chairperson of Medicine at Home. How did I enjoyed the campaigns. Yes. Campaigning for being a chairperson. You know, at that time, it was originally called presidents or falls of president. But during Amin's time, there was only one president. So you couldn't become a president. So it was turned to chairperson. So then I became chairperson of Mary Stuart Hall, a role which I really liked. Because that was in 71 during Amin's time. And it was a time of turbulence. And some students were actually in danger. And I remember discussing with my wardens, which was Mrs. Sendaula, Mrs. Ndaula, Mrs. Ndaula, and Mrs. Onyango, who was her deputy. What do we do? And we agreed that I could give my identity card to a girl. I took out my picture and put her picture, and she could use it to cross the border. Because my name was neutral, it was not in danger. So she used it to cross to Kenya, and then eventually she found herself in Tanzania, in Dar es Salaam. So that's something that I felt was good. During the campaigns, I found there are many people who campaigned for me whom I didn't even think would know who I am and things, especially in the third year wing. You know, Mary Stuart had the first wing for, the tower, where there are many places, first years and perhaps second years. And then in the wings, there were third years. Okay. Now in one of the wings, I found the people who campaigned for me were some girls who had friends among my Bukedi brothers. So they campaigned for me, and that made a difference. I won the role. Yeah. While I was in Mary Stuart, or at university, I also do announcements on TV. You announce the program, and then you summarize the news at the end of the day, over the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. I did that.
Wow.
It was also something nice. Yes. So while I was there, I admired the information officers who would go out and gather information and bring them back and make them into a story. So when I finished university, one of my first applications were to be an information officer, and I got the job. But while I also made several applications, I also applied to Uganda Development Corporation, UBC then, and then to Foreign Affairs, because at that time I had actually known what it would be to be a diplomat, and I found it was tickling. So when I got the job with the Minister of Information, while I was still there, I also got information that I had been accepted by UDC to be a junior economist. I talked to my director then in information, who said, why not? I think that's a better name for you. And I went and joined the UDC. Okay. But while I was still there, I also got the offer to join Foreign Affairs.
Oh my goodness.
So I again went back to the executive director then, who was Semei Nyanzi, talked with him, and he said, wow, that's a good idea. You go and see the world. I said, I want to go and see the world. Just for 2 years. Yes, yes. Afterwards, I'll come back. Said, why not? Your place will be here waiting for you. So then I left UDC as a junior economist, which was with a good salary. It was a good salary then, and joined Foreign Affairs. Yeah. And I joined Foreign Affairs in 73. 70. Yeah, 73. We were, I understand there were about 200 applicants, and 15 of us were offered in that cohort. We underwent 6 months training in IPA, Institute of Public Administration then. So by the time we were ready to go, we really were all excited. Now, I remember during the process of that training, of course, you would go to IPA, but you'd also be attached to different ministries. And there was a time when we were attached to our own ministry, where you would come and be either protocol, whatever. We would do, each time our permanent secretary then was Mr. Coletia, found us in the corridor. He might have thought that we were loitering. So he'd call us to his office and talk to us and give us his own life story of what it was to be a junior diplomat. Wow. His first posting apparently was in Moscow, and Moscow is supposed to be a very difficult posting. In Foreign Affairs, the embassies and high commissions are classified in hard stations, lucrative stations. When Moscow is it's supposed to be one of the hard stations because it is cold, it is far. Moscow, Ottawa, those cold places. Yes. So, but he said he enjoyed it himself. He enjoyed it, and at that time, you heard about KGB. How they would follow all your movement. Yes, yes. But he said, you know what? At one point, you start being very cautious, but then you get tired. Yes. And he said after that, he just said, I think I started acting as if I'm in a theater. So whatever I do, let me do is like I'm in theater, and let them enjoy whatever I say. So he made it sound so interesting that at the end of towards the end of the year when we were being costed, most of us were just jostling to go to Moscow. To Moscow, yes. Because then you'd take a difficult station and have done with it. Then you can go to the other stations which are better. Things like Washington, New York, UK, and in London. Those are good stations because of the fact that you fit in properly. Oh, put it right nicely. Yes. Okay. So I was posted after our training. I was posted to Bonn because of my economic background. So I was posted to Bonn as someone responsible for trading and commerce activities, because we're selling coffee and have scholarships. You also had sort of advocate for scholarships with those countries. Now, in Bonn, from January 74. In October 74, I was called home. I was told you are needed home for consultations. Now, when I went to Bonn in 74, our ambassador had just left because this was Prince Barije, who was the ambassador there. I didn't find him because he had left with the 2 other officers in protest because I think they had killed his brother. He had just killed his brother. So he felt insecure himself. Yeah. So he left. He had left. So the seniorest person there was a second secretary, a colleague, Stephen Labetta, a very nice person, a very outgoing person, nice to work with, and the other officers as well. But it gave me the opportunity to sort of delve in and take part in whatever was happening. That we discussed things openly, what was good, what was not good, how it was behaved, what best we could do to counter the image that our country was having at that time during Amin's times. So we would say, we should do these things differently. If we did this, would it be better? So that the people whom we meet see us as different. And we always insisted that we are representing our country. Yeah, yes. So anyway, in October, I'm called for consultations, and I had to wait 2, 3. When I went to the office of the permanent secretary, He said, "It is the president who wants to see you." So we waited until he was ready. He was told I had to was informed that I was in the country, so he had to give me an appointment. So 2-3 days later, I went. I was told he was ready to see us, to see me. I was accompanied by the permanent secretary, of course, to the office of the president. We waited a little, and then when we were ushered in his office, we were there with his own principal private secretary, who was then Mr. Kochu. The PS then who went with me, I think, was Mr. Ntimba, was acting. So he said, "Welcome, welcome." He was in a jovial mood. He asked me, "Hello," he always called me hello. "Hello, how old are you?" I told him. "Where did you go to school? When did you start working? What experience do you have?" Anyway, now I'm completely and also appointing you my ambassador to Boris. And then he was reminded that whoever was ambassador to Bonn was also ambassador to the Vatican. So that's how I got appointed to the Vatican.
Completely and also.
Completely and also.
Oh.
Now, normally when an ambassador is being accredited to a country, you first send a letter requesting or informing them that you are desirous to send so and so as your ambassador to that country to represent you. And you wait for the agreement, the response, which is called the agreement. Now, this was being done the other way around. Nobody had been consulted about my desired appointment to Germany. And in the Vatican, there had never been a woman for 900 years. So everybody was feeling, what was this? Anyway, eventually the Vatican agreed, breaking 900 years of their...
Situate us in that moment. How did it feel?
Everybody felt unease. I mean, I felt sweat running over me. And I looked around and saw fear in all the faces of the senior officers who were there. I think they felt, this woman is going to say the wrong thing, right? What shall we do? Yes. So I kept quiet for a moment and I looked at him and I said, "Mr. President, you know that I'm young. You know that I have no experience. But if you decided to make me ambassador to represent you and my country to Germany and to the Vatican, and at that time, even Austria, the ambassador to Germany also covered Austria and the Netherlands, I'll try."
Can you imagine this? And for me, I'm still from looking at magazines at home to being offered this. Just mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. And you're writing your book?
Yes.
To tell your story, so we won't give all the juicy bits.
Don't.
But yeah, from that first posting to your illustrious career, what would you say grounded you as a leader? What were the things how did you lead? How was Ambassador Bernadette as a leader?
I think because of my upbringing, together with the boys and my father, had a lot of confidence in me. We sat and talked. At one time, we even talked as people from university, for example, would talk as if to people who are about grown up.
Mm-hmm.
From primary, I was always a prefect. I was a prefect in primary. I was a prefect in secondary school.
Yes.
I was a prefect in Nabingo, my house, prefect in my house, Margaret House. And at university, I was a chairperson of a hall of residence. One of the biggest, at that time, it was the biggest women's residence, because the other one was Africa Hall, which was new. And as a chairperson of a hall, you are part of the guild. The university guild, yes. Guild serves it. So
in a sense, you're leading the students as
yes, you are a leader. Yeah, I think that's where my leadership comes from. But also the 6 months that we spent in Institute of Public Administration as diplomats gave you all the do's and don'ts of diplomacy. So you knew what to do when, for example, if you are sitting at table, you know which scones you would start with and things. And that was always tricky, because like when you are at lunch, for example, they would say, let's start. And you as a woman, they would say, please start. Yes. So if you didn't know what to do, oh wow, that was going to be terrible. But fortunately, our training really grounded us as diplomats. And also, when I was appointed, first of all, one good thing that I think the president did was to say, okay, if you're going to talk about Uganda or to represent Uganda, you should get to know what Uganda is. So he asked the permanent secretary to put at my disposal a car and an officer, and for me to go around the whole country to get to know what Uganda is like. So starting from Impigi, Masaka, and in doing that, you get to learn who was where. Say in Masaka, what were their endowment? So you get to know if you reach Mbarara, what was the endowment? That took a month. Yes. So by the time I went back as ambassador, I could speak about my country with confidence. Yes. Yes, I knew what was where. We went up to Kisoro, those little road, which precarious road.
Yes. I've been to Kisoro right now, especially Antamak.
Intermarked barrier. Yes. So I think that was also a good thing. That gave me confidence about my country, because then I got to know it. As I got around, up to Murchison Falls, and there's an incident that happened at Murchison Falls. I think that was West Nile district, where when we were at Para, they brought a school children to do a play. They were about 12 years old. There were about 10 of them or 12 of them. And they were doing their things as kids. And I don't know what happened. I just broke down in tears because it was a bit hot and they had smeared themselves with the white stuff, and with their shrill voice, I thought, are they suffering?
Oh dear.
So I guess I wept, but I imagine that was my 12-year-old brother. So, but I don't know, because I knew drama, I knew what they were doing, I knew they were enjoying themselves. But for some reason, I just felt, oh, poor boys.
Yes,
The
ambassador who wept. So what I hear you say in terms of leadership is, one, the confidence, and through the various leadership roles that you held, just building that firmness in spirit to lead, the training, and during the training, that teaching one to mind the smallest of things. Yeah, that is what I hear you say in terms of, and knowing the subject matter, restoration. Yes, absolutely. And preparation is key as a leader or for a leader. Wow. So of course now you are 77, you're retired. How did you prepare yourself for that moment of transition?
Okay, I think I've been quite lucky in my life in that after the first posting, which was 75 to 79, after the liberation, all the ambassadors were called back, and the majority of us didn't go back were not posted back to to the stations. We were sent to home offices. We didn't. So I was, for example, deployed in the Ministry of Environment, which was new. I remember going there and not finding anybody in the office, and I walked back wondering why was I being posted into this. But as I walked back to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which is in Parliament Building, I met Professor Chesimira, who was my professor in economics in Makerere. And I said, "Hi, Professor. How are you?" "I'm on the street." "Street? What happened?" "Well, I've been sent out of Foreign Affairs." And I was supposed to go to Ministry of Environment, but I didn't find anybody. They said, "What? Then you can come to my ministry. You're the kind of person that I've been meeting for." So I said, well, this is good. So I went and told my PS, and he was gracious enough to say, okay, let's see. Let me inquire and put the thing in machinery. Instead of going to environment, we can post you to the Ministry of Economic Planning. And that's what they did. So I went to economic planning, where the PS was Itusime Tebile, a colleague whom I had met at university. So I was there for 2 years. While I was there, I even got the opportunity to be posted on the Career Council as a council member, representing Minister of Economic Planning. Yes, yes, yes. So those are all opportunities. And then from there, a colleague approached me and said, you know what? There's a minister of health who is looking for a permanent secretary. And I just felt that you could do the job. So I said, no, I didn't want it. And then I also told her, if you don't, then it means you are going to be marked as someone who is not with government. So I said, okay, why not? But with two hearts, I didn't wait to see also. So I then went briefly to the Minister of Health as acting PS. There was an interview to confirm me, which apparently I did pass. So then I was posted to the President's office as Undersecretary, and I said, no way. I was not going to be in administration. Because as an Undersecretary, you do everything, every petty thing. You're the one who signs off vouchers for the drivers and all that. And I didn't want to start have drivers who will have their grandmothers die several times. Because they were aware. I went to bury my grandmother. You could say, but you buried your grandmother the other year. Yes. So I then requested for unpaid leave. Now, why? At that time, where I was also in the Ministry of Health, I had been requested to represent Uganda in a review of UNAIDS program, which had been running for 5 years. And when I was there, I was requested to chair it by the colleagues who were there. So I was chairing the external review of UNAIDS. That's the UN program for HIV and AIDS. So I told them, let me take leave and do this. It was a decoy too. So after that, I then extended it for that leave without pay for 2 years. And after that, I counted, and I had been working for government for 20 years. And at that end, there was an option that if you worked for government for 20 years, you could retire. So I retired from government. Oh, wow. But you were still very young. Yeah. But as I was retiring, I started looking for other opportunities. So I started doing some consultancies for the UN in HIV and AIDS to set up their programs. And I actually even joined UNICEF as a senior officer for, I think, 3 years, setting up their their program with young people and young adults in HIV and AIDS. And while I was there, UNAIDS was set up, and they were looking for new officers, new recruits. I applied. Some friends said, "Do just apply and let your file be in active file, be an active file." And in the end, I was chosen as an officer to join UNAIDS. Actually, the support there was by my UNICEF representative then, Mrs. Cravero, because when she came in and I was working there with her, she said, "And I like Uganda so much, and I really hope I can be here for a long time." I said, "Almost 10 years." I said, No. Not, and I hope, and he said, "And I hope you'll be there." And I said, "No, I also want to get out of this place." So from there, she actually would look out for adverts and share with me. And when UNAIDS came in, she said, "Oh, but I think you can join UNAIDS." And I think she must have, she gave me a good recommendation. So I then joined UNAIDS, and I became a country, we were called then country advisors on HIV and AIDS. Wow. Now, I was there for 13 years. And our day-to-day operations were being done by WHO. Now, having worked with UNAIDS as country advisor, I started off in Zambia 4 years. Then I went to Swaziland and Lesotho as concurrently, because doing together. Then went to Tanzania another 4 years, and then I was left with 2 years to retire, to be 62. So I was sent to OAU. Or that was OAU or AU, Organization of African Unity, AU. as as an advisor on HIV and AIDS, advocacy and advice, HIV and AIDS. Yes. So while you're there with the UN, before you retire, in fact, 2 years to your retirement, they start talking to you about retirement. And that was a really good opportunity and good grounding, what to do or what not to do in your retirement. Do not start new projects. Do not start new family. Most people, I mean, some, not almost, some people, before they retire, some men, they get into new relationships with the younger people and then start all over again, and it's a mess. Yeah. Because it means they estranged themselves with their old wives, get into a new relationship, which doesn't work out, and so you're taken through what to do and not to do in your retirement, and where not to put your retirement benefits. So that was helpful. But I think I didn't do it quite right, because that's when I came and I built a home. That's when I came and built a home. Yes, but which has served you. It has served anyway. Yes, it's happened. Yeah. So that transition was really by God's grace. I was well launched into it. Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. 2 more years. I do remember, now that you say it, I remember when we interviewed Honorable Sechitoleko, she did say, because she was, I think, working at FAO before she retired, yes, and she did mention that through, very deliberate preparation. Yeah, that's powerful, because many people, I think, just land in it, and you make all sorts of mistakes.
Yes. And especially at country level, at civil servant level, I don't think people are prepared or even talked to that you're about to retire. This is going to be your package. Please don't do this, don't do this. If you already have a home, don't start building a Kalin extensions and every extension or a Grover for a home. No. See what you can do with your money and make sure that you have something to live on. Because if you invest everything, then you may not have cash. Yeah, this years. And this is the time when the ailments come in, start knocking at the door. So you must have some money set aside for that. So that was, for me, that was a good thing.
Yeah. So standing where you are now, at the cusp of your 78th birthday, what are the things that you would tell young leaders now? Or 1, 2, 3 things that they should look out for, that they should do? Yeah, what is your advice?
Young leaders, I think one has to be passionate about it. If you believe in something, pursue it. Be an expert in. Don't think about this and think about that and think about that. We just see what best can I. What is it that I'm passionate about and I can grow into it? If, say, you are a doctor, just be a good doctor. Don't be a doctor on the chair now and then where you're not there on time. You leave early. Your patients keep on waiting. Whatever you do, I think I would say do it to your best. Yeah. And I think this has been my strong point. And whatever I'm given to do, I do it to the very best that I can. If I fail, it is not because I've not tried or I've not put my mind to it. It may be just because I didn't get everything that I needed to, but I would try to do. Yes. I think young people these days, or many people these days, they are here, but their minds is elsewhere.
Yeah.
So that's what I would tell you. What is it that you think you're best at? Can you make that your specialization?
Yeah.
So that when someone wants an idea or wants something on that, they can consult you about it. And also integrity. Are you reliable? Can I rely on you to deliver?
Yeah.
If I give you a job, can I rely on you? Because some young people get into something today and they want to make it in life within a short time.
Yes, to reap immediately.
To reap immediate results, which is not easy. And that puts many of them in trouble.
Yes.
See?
Yes.
So I think I would tell everybody, please just be sincere, be integral, be reliable. Make sure that you do not do things because someone is looking at you. Do things because tomorrow when you can defend it, you can't say, oh, I had gone to the bathroom when you've been away for 2 hours.
Right? Yes.
I think that's the first thing that I would tell people. And then when some people at school, they also just pass through things because either they are clever and they can do it, or because they don't work hard enough. Have you done your best to get the marks that you need, take you where you want to? I've supported several young people.
Yes.
From 74 or 74 or even earlier. I lost several brothers and cousins and their wives, and I inherited quite a few orphans whom I looked after. I think suddenly by 74, I had 12 orphans. So the youngest was 7 months, and the oldest I think was 15.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and it was between me and my mother look after them.
Yeah.
So when that happened, I told my mother, you provide a home.
Yes.
Me, I'll try and look for money to take them to school. And between them, you could judge to say, okay, did they work hard enough? You go one by one. Did he do the best he could?
Yes.
Some worked very hard. So did you work hard enough? Is that the best you could do? And even that kindergarten teacher, are you working hard enough to make sure that you're the best at?
Yeah.
Some go through it and they know that as soon as they're in trouble, oh, auntie's there, I'll go and say, auntie.
Yeah.
So I've had enough close examples to see. So from there I can tell young people, this is what I know, and this is what, if I were to advise, that's what I would tell you.
Have you done your best?
Have you done your best?
Are you a person of integrity? And be good at something. Yes, be good at something. Yeah, I think we sometimes are a scattered generation. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
And in our time, actually, we embodied those traits.
Yes.
I can imagine. I can go through all my friends, and all the stories that you hear.
Yes.
Everyone tells you that is what they went through, and the first thing is that they were working very hard.
Yes.
They were responsible. They were integral, and you could rely on them. And the stories are the same in our time.
Wow.
But that story does not translate easily to our children and the younger people these days.
And so we need to do something about it. And I think as we end, that is also my take home. What stories will be told about us, about our generation. And if it's not a good one, we need to change it, to shift it. Because that's what leaders do, right? You change the course.
Yes.
And you create a culture that is enabling. Madam Ambassador, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much. I know that we will... Can you tell us a bit about your book? Like, when do we expect it? What is the title?
The title, you remember when we met, is it 2 months ago?
About that, maybe February.
Yes, and we talked about my book, and he asked what the title was. I told you that it was going to be Madam Ambassador. And that's when I got the thing to call you.
Yeah,
Madam Lawyer.
Madam Lawyer. Yes.
Yes, it's going to be, yes, Madam Ambassador. Because I think it's a title which I think is catching.
Yes.
But also I feel that being ambassador at 27 years, it's not a usual thing.
Absolutely not.
It's not universal, and I can say, I think I'm a very ordinary person, from a very ordinary background. And if I can do it, if I can do whatever I did, whatever responsibility I was given, I would do it properly. I think that any other young person can do it. Really, that is the essence of me writing that book. That people don't just see me as an ambassador, someone at the Vatican, 900 years, but as an ordinary girl who worked very hard, who was focused, and achieved what she put her mind on, and that anybody can do it.
Yeah.
There's no need for you. I mean, the 1.5 is good, but it's not forever.
No.
And we can achieve it. Yes. We can achieve it without that.
Yes.
And if you're given that, are you using it properly? The other day, we had an argument in my Rotary Club about the 1.5. and the fact that in many institutions now there are more women than men. For example, in the judiciary, we have quite a few judges who are women. And a male judge was saying, okay, you people are saying there are delayed judgments and all that, and yet you feel that women may be doing better than men. But why are there backlogs of cases? Why don't these hardworking women do the needful and
Reduce the backlog.
reduce the backlog, yes, and do some express achievement, express looking at the cases, and so that's one question that one would ask. Because I only feel that as women, we are many a time focused. But also, of course, we have other challenges when you're at the age of reproductive age.
Yes.
So you're in truth, every 2 years you have your 6 months leave. You have a kid who is sick. You have what or not. But at a certain stage, that is not there.
Yeah.
So what we could do is make a difference wherever we are. Also say, okay, can I make a difference? Yes. There should be a difference to say, you know what? There is a woman there, and that she's going to do her best, and she's going to perform. Yeah. For me, that's sometimes what I think.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I absolutely believe you. And I think that's a good point to end. Where you are right now, dear leader, are you making a difference? Are you reliable? Are you a person of integrity?
Are you doing your best?
Are you doing your best? Thank you so much for listening to us. Thank you so much, Madam Ambassador, for being a guest on Footprints. Join us again when we bring you yet another guest. Thank you so much for listening to us. Bye.